Hello, NFL fans, and welcome back to NFLUKOPS Live. My name is Tom, and we've got a very interesting chat with you today. We've got our special guest, Tyler Lamb, on with us today. How are you doing, Tyler?
I'm pretty good, man. I mean, I could always be better. Could always be better.
Yeah, so Tyler joins us. He was a massive Patriots fan and was actually at the game the other night. So we have plenty to talk about there, and he can obviously give us a very good insight of what it was like actually at the game. So we've got plenty to talk about. So before we do get started, I just need to make sure to remind you to fight that subscribe button like Gronkowski and hit that like button like Henry. Thank you very much. And so we talked, Tyler, a few weeks ago. I think it was just before the Packers game, actually. So it was after we saw that Mac Jones was going to be injured, and talk about Brian Hoyer taking over the game, which quickly changed into Bailey Zappi. So I think we'll just have a quick chat and a bit of a catch-up of how the team progressed, and then we can obviously dive into the sort of issues of Monday night. So how did you think that the Packers game went, and obviously Bailey Zappi stepping in for Brian Hoyer?
I thought it was very, very similar to the Buccaneers game last year, actually. Right in the game with basically a Hall of Fame quarterback on the other side. Defense was playing real strong throughout most of the game. We got a touchdown on defense. And towards the end, it felt like scared coaching. And I get it. Bailey Zappi first, he didn't even start. He first snaps in the NFL in Lambeau. But you had a chance to win that game and beat Green Bay. You're on the 50-yard line, essentially. It's you got to go for that. You already stopped Rodgers once in overtime. I can't imagine the analytics would tell you that is a smart thing to give him the ball again in overtime. So yeah, tough game. Kind of went how I did expect. Not the game script, but the final score. It was close to the end, and the Pats just couldn't get there. As far as the teams play the next 2 weeks after that, I get they were playing not great opponents, but it just felt like the coaching in the game, the schematically it changed. Everything changed. People started becoming wide open for Zappi. Nobody within 20 yards of them. Before, when Mac was playing, it felt like people were glued onto these receivers and these tight ends. The ball wasn't getting there in time. That might be some on Mac's fault, but it can't all be like that because he's not missing those throws. There's no way. You can't. They're crossing your sight line. So it just leaves me questioning what the I get you have to simplify when you have a rookie quarterback instead of a second-year quarterback, but it was clear the offense was something was wrong with it before. You know what I mean? What did you think?
Yeah, obviously when Zappi first stepped in, he looked very, very nervous. His first few throws were underthrown, which you'd rather be underthrown than overthrown, wouldn't you? But then he did seem to settle into the game, and they got him moving about a bit, then making those comfortable throws. And it just feels like a game that they really should have won in the end, especially with how the Packers have gone on since then as well. So it was obviously disappointing. As you say, stopping Rodgers in overtime. As soon as you see that Rodgers gets the ball in overtime, you think, well, this is over. But we actually had a chance. And so, I think you've got to go for it. And if you don't make it on fourth down, then you don't make it on fourth down.
You're probably going to lose regardless. You might as well lose from being aggressive, at least at that point. And what do you have to lose? It's your third string quarterback. You shouldn't be in the game anyway, It's scared. It was scared coaching. It was a scared play call. They just didn't go for it. But yeah, like I said, after that, Zappi looked good, looked solid. Then we get into the debacle for Monday night. Whew.
Yeah,
that was tough.
Yeah. So do you think, just before we go on to Monday night, do you think that obviously you've talked about already that the coaching changed? Obviously, they have tried to give Zappi safer throws. All of a sudden, the play action passing came back.
Yeah.
So do you think that was just a case of they've really simplified it, or is it that there's something is different with how they're coaching Mac and how they're coaching Zappi? What do you think?
I mean, the theorist in me wants to say that it's sabotage, but it's probably not. But I can't say anything is out of range with Matt Patricia at the helm there. Like, he's very fickle. He alienates players, and he decides things based on personality a lot too. I still to this day know, I know in my heart, let's put it that way, that he was the reason for the Malcolm Butler benching. Like, a lot of people say it was the Steve Belichick thing, but he was talking back to Patricia too in a practice that week before the Super Bowl, and I think that was the straw. But realistically though, it really, I don't know. It seems like they're running things for Zappi that they should be running for Mac. They're not totally different quarterbacks. I understand there's a different style, and they Zappi gets out further when he does the when he drops back. He's like 11 yards back. There's a little bit longer with his throwing motion. Mac's a little bit more compact. He gets it out quicker. So that might be how I don't know. Really doesn't make much sense because it looks like the offense works a lot better when we're doing those things as opposed to when we're not doing those things.
Yeah, and obviously great wins. Obviously shutting out the Lions, who at that point were the top scorers in the NFL. A good win against the Browns away from home as well, and all the sort of things are looking up.
Yeah,
and then Mac Jones is declared fit enough to play, and it comes out before the game that Mac is going to play, and Belichick's told reporters that Mac and Zappi are going to play, which automatically you start thinking, well, wait a minute, why has he said that? Is he giving himself a get-out clause if things aren't going right? Did he always plan to only play Mac 3 series? So, I mean, we get onto the fact of what actually happened on Monday night. So what was your take on especially the quarterback situation, first of all?
I don't think that Mac looked terrible. The interception was definitely his fault. It didn't hit any wire. I don't no matter what Twitter or ESPN, I don't care what anybody says. Didn't hit the wire. It was a bad throw. It happens. But a lot of that has him not he doesn't feel comfortable in the pocket. He hasn't played in a couple of games. The last time he was in the pocket, he got hurt. So it starts closing. He was trying to roll out a lot. I saw him trying to run a lot in that game. I just didn't think he was comfortable. I thought it was the wrong decision to play him. In general, I was saying this whole time that it should have been 5 to 6 weeks that he doesn't play because of the high ankle sprain. On high ankle sprains, if you come back early, you're going to get hurt again, or you're not going to be at 100%. So I don't want Mac Jones in there at less than 100%. It's not good for us, and it's definitely not good for him. It wasn't good for him because he got benched or replaced, and it sucks for the kid. And I didn't chant Zappi until after he threw the first touchdown pass. So I wasn't in on the train beforehand. I was like, give Mac a chance, and then he threw the pick, and then we saw Zappi warming up, and it was shaking in there. It was so loud. It was crazy how much buy-in everybody has on Zappi. I personally, I think he's played well for backup, but if you go back and you watch the games, there's a lot of throws that he just doesn't have enough on, or he just doesn't read right, or he puts too high. He was a 4th round pick for a reason, but he's very solid backup. He's he's like a carbon copy of Taylor Heineke or something. You know what I mean? Maybe not as athletic as Heineke, but he's got that just, I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my thing, I'm calm, I'm cool, and then I'll make a mistake or two, maybe. In a couple of games. Through a three-string game, 2 mistakes are my fault. So
our sort of take from where we were was that Belichick wanted to use this game get Mac Jones back in in a game that he expected to win fairly comfortably against the Bears. So this was an ideal opportunity to get him back in and play the game, play a comfortable game, and just let it roll from there. Everyone all of a sudden is back on side, and the fans, the fans are happy that Mac is back. He's had a good game, and all of a sudden it sort of zapped the whole Bailey Zappi hype train that's with the Patriots fans. But obviously, very early on, they go 3 and out, then they go 3 and out again, and then obviously you get the interception. What do you think? Do you think? Obviously, you've already said that you believe that Mac shouldn't have played in the game, which is what we believed as well. There was no need if he wasn't 100, completely 100%. Why risk him when Zappi's obviously got the team around him playing very well? Obviously, there are other issues in the game. We could talk about defense shortly, but what do you think? Do you think that Belichick it was a bad decision?
Yeah, I think it was a bad decision to start Mac. Again, I don't think he was fully ready for that. Like, it was a Monday night. He's going to be playing on a short week. Like, the Jets are up now. Somehow they're 5-2. And this is a massive game. Like, if we want to have any shot in having like a playoff season, we're going to have to win this game this Sunday. So that'd be another loss to a divisional team that we cannot have. So I still think there's a sliver of hope, but losing to the Bears like that is just makes me tough to think that this year is going to be a productive year for us. So, I had similar feelings when Mac got hurt, and like I had similar feelings even before that, to be honest, that like this might not be such a good year. I was hoping it would still be good, but like there was a lot of optimism for a lot of pieces, and then the reports started coming out. And we started seeing how they were playing. Then we started seeing how the games were being called, and just the mixture of all of those things together didn't look great. So
no, and obviously another thing that we touched on just a minute ago is that didn't look great at all was the defense, which has been very strong through the majority of this season. And all of a sudden, they had no answer for Justin Fields, who on design runs, on improvised runs, they just had absolutely no answer, made him look like Lamar Jackson. And outside of Matthew Judon, nobody seemed to turn up to play. So what do you think the problems were there?
Kyle Duggar didn't play in this game. So that's a massive problem. He is basically the only player on our defense besides Judon, like that I feel can make like a tackle. So like just by himself, like you look at the Patriots defense, they don't have a dude like Micah Parsons. They don't have a dude like Devin White that's just like running around the field tackling everybody from everywhere. Kyle Duggar does do a lot of that because he plays a lot in the box, but like when he's not in there, they get very vulnerable against the run. And like you said, though, Justin Fields was actually playing like Lamar Jackson because I guess this was the week that the Bears offensive coordinator decided to figure it out. Like, I think it's Luke Getsy. I guess he was like, oh, maybe we should run our offense like the Ravens. So I guess he came to that epiphany 7 weeks into the season. And historically, the Pats defense does not do well against that sort of scheme. But I didn't feel worried going into that game because that's not how the Bears were playing offense. You know what I mean? They were playing a lot of like under the center, like right up on the center, playing in the single back, one running back formation. This game, they came out in the gun, split back. They're running RPOs, hitting those little option routes. The Dante Pettis had a carry on the end around that was really big. And then, like you said, there was no spy on Fields. There was nobody who could spy him. And that's it's typically Kyle Duggar. So, that's kind of what we were getting the pressure, but we couldn't contain. couldn't contain the pocket, and that's kind of we were pushing too much, and then Fields would break out, and then nobody could tackle him. Just really sad. I thought we got faster on defense. Didn't look like it. So
no, and that was the problem because Justin Fields still missed a fair few easy throws as well. It just seemed to be those broke up, those either designed runs where they got blockers out in front, or those ones that broke down when you looked like they were going to get him sacked, and then all of a sudden he breaks out and now he's just run 20, 30 yards. And that seemed to be the difference, and they just couldn't answer that. In the second half, I don't know what happened to the offense. I mean, all of a sudden they couldn't move the ball. Mistakes started happening. I mean, I think a key turning point in the game was probably the Myers fumble on the handoff, because at that point, obviously the Bears had just got a bit of momentum back, taking the 17-14 lead. But the Patriots had 2 minutes left before half time to go down, potentially get a field goal or better. And then it feels a lot better going into half time, either tied or ahead.
Oh, yeah.
The Bears get the ball back, and they might hold them to a field goal, but then they've got all the momentum. They get the ball after half time as well. And the Patriots didn't seem to recover from there. So it's obviously a game of inches. It always is. But that was a defining moment for me. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. My thought there is I don't like the play call. I don't like the play call. It's raining. It was really wet in the stadium. It was really wet on the field. There had already been a couple of drop balls, mishandled snaps. Like, it was wet. So why are you adding that extra element into that? And also, why are you doing it with Jacoby Myers and not Tyquan Thornton? Why are you trying to be too? It's like, oh, we're trying to be sneaky. Oh yeah, nobody's gonna see that coming. But it's just shooting yourself in the foot. Because if I remember correctly, we were driving at that time. The ball was around the 50, right? I think. And you just keep kind of doing what you were doing, getting the ball moving a couple yards, take a shot. I feel like it would have worked. And that, again, that's what we get with Matt Patricia, who had a 2-week streak there, very good play calling. But then, his true form came back.
and you're right. Maybe they did outthink themselves and thought they're not going to expect an end around with Jacoby Myers. I mean, you don't see the Chiefs. You see the Chiefs, for example, they hand it off on an end around to Mecole Hardman. The teams hand it to their fastest players. If you said earlier, the Bears hand it off to Pettis. You give it to your fastest guys that can get outside and get around. Myers isn't that type of guy. So had he even received the ball, he had a Bears defender waiting in his face anyway. So I think he was about to get hit anyway. So it was going nowhere. And obviously a very strange decision just before half time. So moving forward then, Mac Jones seems to be have been declared the starter for the Jets game. We've taken 90% of the starter snaps yesterday. Are you team Mac Jones or team Zappe? What do you think?
I mean, as long as he didn't hurt himself in the game at all on Monday, I'm going to go with Mac again. I just for dear Lord, call the game the same way. Just call the game the same way. Do it. I don't care if you're going to have me simplify it. You can't take big shots down the field. Have a productive offense. You have a fantastic defense. Keep them off the field. Keep them fresh. Keep your offense moving. Score points when you can. That's how you win games. With this team, with this, we're not gonna. It seemed like we were trying to play like the Bills or the Chiefs in the first 3 weeks of the season, and that's not who we are right now. As much as I'd like to be that fantastic on offense right now, but it's just not that's not the way that we score. So, yeah, just get back to what we do. Get rid of all the stuff that isn't working, that has gotten Mac hurt, left him in the pocket. I'm pretty sure his average target depth this year is 13, which is crazy. Bailey Zappi's is only at 6 yards per attempt. So Mac's almost doubling that. And if you think of Mac, like that's not real. Like throwing the deep ball all the time isn't really Mac's game. You know, like staying in the pocket, waiting. That's not really the best way to have him operate all the time. Like you want to do that once in a while, all right. But like run your typical offense. Run the offense that we've seen for, 20 years. Which stinks because last year I was like, "Oh, change the offense." I guess not with this guy. Not with this guy at the helm.
No, because last season they did, like, Mac Jones' stats were quite similar to what Bailey Zappi's have looked like, because they were running a lot of shorter routes across the middle, looking for Myers a lot and really not stretching the field, which is why they drafted Thornton, to stretch the field. They had Agholor to stretch the field as well. But it's made, for some reason, it seems to have got into Mac Jones's head that he's got to push the ball down. He's got to risk it more. And that's where obviously the interceptions have come from. So go back, as you said, go back to finding your Myers over the middle, get people in space. And I mean, they have barely used the tight ends again this season.
Until Zappi was in. Then Hunter Henry scoring touchdowns, what's his name? John Smith had that big, 55-yard catch and run in Cleveland. Where has that been? Where is that offense? Why is it not there? You're paying all this money for tight ends. Use them like that. It's clear that they work. What really frustrates me is that Mac Jones clearly has the higher ceiling. He does. Yeah. There's really nothing to argue about that. He does. So put him in the same position to succeed that you're putting Zappi in. Does that mean you have to scale back some of your aggressiveness? Yes. Does that mean you have to get rid of it completely? No. You know what I mean? Find a balance. You're a rocket scientist. Make the numbers work. Oh my gosh!
And you're right. And to be fair, looking at the ahead to the Jets game and the Jets themselves, their record suggests they've made massive improvements. However, if you look at their offensive stats and how Zach Wilson is playing, I mean, Bill Belichick has made Zach Wilson look terrible in the past, and you can see that happening again. It's whether the offense can do a good enough job this weekend. I feel there's going to be the difference, because I think that they will contain Zach Wilson. I'm not concerned about the Jets offense whatsoever, but this has got the potential again of being a low scoring shootout, with both teams scoring less than 20, and we'll see who wins this on a field goal. What do you think?
So about this, I'm the Jets are actually pretty banged up right now. Elijah Vera Tucker doesn't look like he's going to play in this game, and he's kind of turned into one of the best guards in the league as I think second-year player, might be third. But Breece Hall obviously tearing his ACL. That's tough. You hate to see it with such a talented dude like that. Glad we don't have to play him, but at the same time, it kind of stinks because there will be an asterisk around it. Now, technically, the Jets have a fantastic wide receiving core. You're right about Zach Wilson. He comes into the game, the Jets just stop throwing the football, completely. They're not interested. Before, when Joe Flacco was in, he was attempting, the most passes in the league through, 3 weeks. So, what you do on the field, what your coaching staff allows you to do on the field, indicates how much they trust you. Which takes us back to that Mac and Zappi debate. They let Mac do these things. Maybe you shouldn't do it as much, but they don't let Bailey do as much because they know that he's limited in these ways currently. But that's what you're getting in New York now. They're not throwing I understand the run game was working a lot better, but they're not throwing the ball as much. They just aren't. They're not putting the game in Zach Wilson's hand. And Bill's going to try and make that be what happens. The Pats have been pretty good against the run. Again, on Monday night, let Khalil Herbert rip off that big run, which, uncharacteristic of them. So I think we can win this game, but that's because the Jets are kind of injured. If they're injured, I don't know. They might have the advantage, or if they were healthy, they might have the advantage with how things have been going currently. And again, if you had asked me this before Monday night, it was a lock we were going to win that game. Absolute lock. So that performance kind of rattled me a little bit, gotta say.
Yeah. No, yeah, I felt the same because I expected them to beat the Bears, to beat the Jets, beat the Colts, and then beat the Jets again, and going into Thanksgiving game 7-3 and feeling like pretty good about themselves.
Yep.
Back completely in the AFC playoff mix in a division now that's very crowded in terms of the records now, and obviously Tua's back with the Dolphins. They're going to expect us to pick things up now as well. But now, as you said, these two games against the Jets over the next few weeks are absolutely crucial. They have to win those games if they've got any chance. I mean, if you split it, you've got a little bit of chance. If you lose them both, that's the end of the season, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, we're looking at picks that way.
That's it. I mean, if we have a look at the injury list for the Patriots, as of yesterday, so if you've got David Andrews, who looked like on the crackback block that he took, is struggling with concussion, which is going to be a problem. Obviously, Christian Barmore, the fact of missing him in the middle is a huge miss, and then Kyle Duggar. So 3 huge players that didn't participate yesterday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a massive miss. Obviously, on the limited participation, Nelson Agholor, who's been a bit of a non-factor, really, for me. I mean, we'll talk about trade rumours shortly, but Nelson Agholor can go for me. Kendrick Bourne's a bit of a non-entity, Kendrick Bourne, at the minute. And Ferry Jenkins played pretty well against the Bears. He was one of the few defenders that did stand out against the Bears, actually. Jonathan Jones is massive. On when you hope that he's going to be okay. Phillips and Anucci, obviously you need those guys back in. So you're talking about the Jets being a bit banged up, but if the majority of these players are missing, particularly star 5 or 6 out of there, it leaves the Patriots with huge holes as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I didn't know that Barmore didn't practice yesterday, so that's a big hit. If David Andrews doesn't play, the offensive line is going to have serious issues as well. And speaking about wide receivers, one of them's going to have to go up against Sauce Gardner, and I don't think any one of them can beat Sauce Gardner currently with the way that dude's playing. That pick, the Jets just did not mess that one up, and for years now, the Jets have messed that one up. And this dude, barring an injury, I'm gonna knock on wood because he's such a good player, and his name is Sauce Gardner, and that's super cool. So yeah, let it ride. That dude's a problem. So with that, if Andrews isn't playing, there could be a lot of coverage stacks. So, oh no.
So I mean, obviously that was yesterday's report. We'll see. Obviously today's report will come out in just over an hour or so. So you're hoping that a couple of those have come back, but that's the problem with playing a shorter week as well. The fact you're playing a Monday night and trying to get guys healthy again enough to play on a Sunday again. So hopefully they will be ready. Looking at then trade rumours then, so 3 big names that are coming out ahead of the trade deadline on the 1st of November are the 2 wide receivers, so Agholor and Bourne, and then obviously tackle Wynn as well, which, there's been a bit of a media frenzy around Wynn with the fact of apparently he was deleting anything to do with the Patriots on his Instagram and things. He's had a lot of troubles, a lot of penalties, at that right tackle spot. Didn't obviously play the other day as well, very well. What are your thoughts on Wynn? I mean, for me personally, I think they are going to look to try and ship him.
Yeah, dude, send that dude out. Send him out. Tough pick. He was good for a period of time. Now I just don't think he's bought in. And even when he was good, he was still a 60% player. He wouldn't play all the time, nagging injuries, even on the field, a couple of issues here and there. I thought it would get better. It's clearly gotten worse. Like you said, way too many penalties, back-breaking penalties. If somebody's willing to give you anything for him and take his $10 million salary, send him. Get him out of here. Same with Nelson Agholor. that dude drops the ball way too much. And like I was one of the guys who was like pretty hyped about getting him, but I guess that was coming off a receiver room that was like led by Damiere Byrd. So I guess anything was better than that. But now like we actually have a couple of receivers who do catch the ball and like don't hand it to the other team continuously. So yeah, if somebody's willing to give us anything for Nelson Agholor, I'd probably take it and get that money off the books. Kendrick Bourne, I want to keep. I still think he's one of our most explosive playmakers. Like, again, here's Matt Patricia alienating a player and just not getting him involved. And now he's hurt. And, like, now it's an issue. Now there's trade rumors. It's like, no, he's actually, like, his cap hit's like $5 million, I'm pretty sure. It's a very, very affordable contract for a really, really productive player. So I have no idea why he's not out there making that money, like, instead of just, chilling on the bench, still making that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Mac obviously built up a very good relationship with him last year. Over 800 receiving yards, very, very productive. So there is obviously an issue. There's obviously an issue, as you said, whether it is Patricia. It seems
I don't know who else
getting in the game. Yeah, he's just not getting in the game, is he? He's just not. He's not being given the opportunity when he has been on the field. He has actually been productive this season. He's just not getting those chances. In terms of Agholor, obviously his time on the field has reduced dramatically with the fact that Thornton's now come back, which is obviously a very good thing in terms of Patriots. Obviously, Agholor was, up until the Monday night game, the only Bailey Zappi interception was Agholor's fault after he got chucked it up in the air and obviously got intercepted as well. So
in the air.
Yeah. So do you foresee any of these three going, all three of them going, or what would you think?
I'm gonna say one of them. Goes. What date's the deadline? Do we play the Jets before it?
Say again, sorry.
I said, what date is the deadline? Do we play the Jets?
Yeah, so it's Tuesday. So we do.
Okay, so a lot's gonna be determined on that. I think if they win the game, maybe nobody goes. If they lose the game, maybe all three of them go. I'm still gonna say one of them is going, no matter what. I think it's gonna be Wynn because they already have Marcus Cannon playing for him. I also think Agholor is very expendable, because we said Tyquan Thornton's in there and he looks good. Like he looks like an actual wide receiver. Like, hey, he has way more production than N'Keal Harry ever did. Feels like already.
Yeah. Although N'Keal Harry did come back to catch a ball on Monday night, didn't he?
There was a loud boo when that happened. Real loud.
He was very pleased on the sideline, though. He had a smile from ear to ear, that's for sure.
For sure.
So obviously the Patriots in a massive bind in terms of their cap space this season. Do you see anybody coming in before the trade deadline?
I'd probably see picks. The only person that I really would want, and maybe we could make this work with Carolina. Maybe we give them like Isaiah Wynn, Nelson Agholor, and I don't know, a third for not Brian Burton, Shaq Thompson. Really, really good linebacker. He used to be a safety in college, versatile. Can play the edge, can play the middle, can play a little safety. The room the linebacking room needs help. Like we need a linebacker. That's why we went and got Jamie Collins. You know what I mean? So can we actually get a good one, a real linebacker? Shaq Thompson, real linebacker, would be great. If we're shooting a little bit higher than that, this is not something I think that's going to happen. I'd want Roquan Smith, but there's really no way I could see getting Roquan Smith. But he's probably getting traded before the deadline because he was crying after Robert Quinn got traded. In his press conference, he finds that out. I feel like that's a bad look for the Bears for somebody already wants out. But again, they just beat us, so I can't talk any shit.
No, and I wish they traded Robert Quinn before they played the Patriots.
Yeah,
he was in the backfield a lot on Monday night, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll wait and see. Obviously, hopefully, they win. But at the end of the day, if they lose Agholor or win,
Yeah, no freaking no scratch off my back, man.
So what do you think about? So in terms of the game on Sunday, then, so what's your sort of score prediction?
It's tough. I'm gonna go 27-17 Pats.
Okay.
I am. I think the Jets have done a lot of good things, but it comes down to having a quarterback who can make plays against Bill Belichick. And so far in his career, Zach Wilson has shown that he explicitly cannot do that. So until he shows me he can, that's going to be kind of my thing. I do think this is one of the more closer Jets-Pats matchups that we've seen in recent years. But yeah, so I mean, it's going to be close. Maybe we kind of like take it out into the fourth quarter. But I did actually hear a stat today that the Jets have scored 56 more points in the fourth quarter than their opponents this year, which is actually a crazy stat. So I think it's like second or third most in the NFL right now. This year is crazy, man. You have the Giants and the Jets balling out oh yeah, I don't even know. The Falcons are like 6-1 against the spread too. Things are crazy.
Yeah, and so in terms of what do you think the plan is going to be for the offense then against the Jets? So how are they going to try and make Mac feel comfortable back there and be productive early in the game, because they need to get off to a good start?
Should I tell you what I would do, or should I tell you what they?
Right, tell me what you would do.
Okay.
What you think they will do?
So I mean, I would start the game trying to pass the ball to the quick routes, the option routes, like in the middle of the field, hit the flats, take what the defense gives you. Like, don't be that aggressive yet. But also don't go in there running the ball 80 times in the first 4 drives. You know what I mean? Like, have some tempo, have some rhythm, have some, combination of running and passing. Use play action. Like, use the tight ends. Like last year, Hunter Henry, I think, had 2 touchdowns against the Jets in one game. Kendrick Bourne was beating them all over the field. Use Tyquan Thornton. Like, get him the ball. He's fast. Just get him the ball in space. You could take some deep shots. I'm not saying don't. Maybe if Bourne does play, hopefully, like, that's the dude we're throwing to, because I think Sauce Gardner will play on Devontae Parker. So, but again, then you have Myers over the field on crossers. Like, you got to run the typical Patriots offense. Get rid of most of the stuff that you've been doing over the offseason that you tried to install that didn't really work and isn't meshing. Play with your strengths. The whole thing about being in New England, I thought about being in a Bill Belichick system, is that players go there to be maximized on their potential. It doesn't look like max potential is being maximized right now. Sorry, that was a little bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah, no, you're right. My biggest concern is what happened on Monday night happening again. That exact repeat of getting the ball first, 3 and out, or worse, them trying to throw one deep early and picked off straight away, pick 6 it could be, and all of a sudden, the confidence is way down straight away, or the Jets receive the ball, go down, work a touchdown early, and now they pressure straight onto the Patriots. So I'm just hoping they can get something. I wouldn't mind them. Obviously, like a lot of teams, when they lose, when they win the toss, defer. I wouldn't mind them actually receiving the ball first and trying to get confidence straight into Mac, making some safer throws, working off that play action, and even if they don't score a touchdown, even if they manage to work it into for a field goal, just to get that confidence in, because I think he really needs that.
Yeah, definitely need scoring drives. Just need scoring. Need to put points on the board. Our defense is going to play well. Our job on offense right now, should be to keep our defense's legs fresh. The biggest problem with having a great defense and a subpar offense is that your great defense is going to get tired if they're always on the field. You got to help them out. There's got to be time and possession. Like, you have to move the ball. Even if you don't score a touchdown, you have to move the ball. You have to have it for like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Let the defense rest, recuperate, rethink whatever scheme they're running. Try and get the play calls for the next series. If your offense is going on the field 3 and out, the defense literally sits down, maybe gets some water, and has to get back up, get on the field. That's just not a recipe for success. And I don't care how good your defense is.
So, what do you think about the kicking game as well, which was particularly poor as well? Jake Bailey, who has been an all-pro punter, all of a sudden couldn't punt the ball on Monday. So, what do you think the issues were there?
I don't know, man, but he got a pretty nice extension, so he should figure it out. Like, that's almost $5 million for a punter. He and Kendrick Bourne are making pretty similar money, so that's ridiculous. It's pretty unacceptable, to be honest. After last year, I thought Cam, what's his name, special teams coordinator, Cam something, thought he was going to get fired last year with how poor the special teams played. This year, we've played better in at least the returning game since Marcus Jones has kind of stepped into that role. They got Miles Bryant the heck out of there. I don't like that guy. I'm sorry. He got a pick, and I was just like, yeah, the ball was thrown right to him. And he was like, oh, Miles Bryant. I was still mad. I was sitting there like, yeah, wasn't even that good. But yeah, so I just, yeah, that's crazy.
So Andy said, that we need to give you Patricia's job. So that's
I got a better beard.
Yeah. I think you could step in. I think you could do the job.
Dude, that'd be literally my dream.
So let's have a talk about in terms of tonight's game, Thursday Night Football, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Baltimore Ravens. So what's your sort of thoughts on tonight's game? It seems it's a massive game, particularly for the Buccaneers. What do you think?
Dude, I don't know what's going on in Tampa Bay. Like, with everything going on in Tom's life right now, what I know about the guy, from what I've seen him play quarterback, they should be destroying teams right now. Like, they should be leveling them. Like, Brady should be setting the earth on fire with how, what's going on. Because that's just the type of dude he is. He takes his frustrations and puts it into football. So, it just makes no sense what's going on. I mean, their offensive line's banged up. Their defense is slowly but surely starting to let them down and get injured. That's because their offense can't move the ball like they should. I will say Mike Evans missed a wide open 75-yard touchdown last week that would have very, very much changed the course of that game. Yeah. However, still didn't make the play. Didn't make the plays to come back at all in the game. Steadily got handed their butts by the Carolina Panthers, which is straight embarrassing. So, again, every bone in my body wants me to say that Brady's going to come out and torch the Ravens tonight, but I just don't think that that's going to happen. I think the Ravens are going to win. But again, the Ravens are a team that's let almost every team they've come back, or that they've played against, come back from a double-digit lead. So, it's probably going to be a real tight game, high scoring. I'd probably hit the over and close your eyes and pick whoever had plus money if you're betting on the game. You know what I mean?
So what do you think about the Ravens? Do you think Ravens are? Do you think they are legitimate Super Bowl contenders this season?
If they get their head out of their asses, yeah. I mean, they've had a double-digit lead in every single game they've played in so far. They legitimately could be 7-0, with that sort of stat. But they've let teams like the Giants, the Browns, the Bengals, pretty much every team, the Dolphins, they've let them all crawl back into the game, and then some have just knocked them right out. We almost did it too.
Yeah.
Like we should have Mac threw a bad ball pick, like tough play. So I'm sorry. That's not what happened. It's not what happened. Nelson Agholor happened. And he fumbled the ball on the ball that we should
have.
have.
On that drive, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a 40 yard play. Like that was a game changing moment. Like they just ran the ball, run the clock, score, and play defense one more drive. You had it. That was very similar to the Dallas game. I think I may have said that last time I was on, but they're a good team. They got great players. Lamar Jackson is an MVP candidate again this year. Mark Andrews is an elite tight end. They have a good running game. Always a smart coach, but there's just been something wrong. There's been something that just lets people creep into games. So I would probably lean Ravens here, just with how bad the Buccaneers have looked, and the Ravens would still look good. They just let teams get back into games. So it's going to be a close one. And again, most close ones, I would side Tom Brady, but it just seems like nothing's going right for the guy. But that's probably where I'm going to be wrong. And
it's so hard. It's so hard this season, in particular, to pick games. I mean, trying to predict winners this season, there's been that many upsets, incredibly difficult.
Yeah, every team seems good, or at least capable.
Yeah, exactly.
Capable.
I mean, how many people picked the Bears over the Patriots on Monday night? Just as an example, and the Patriots aren't even classed as a very good team this season, but they were clear favourites to beat the Bears. So it just could go any way. So do you think, just to finish off with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, do you think this is Tom Brady's final season with the Buccaneers, and do you think this is the final season for Tom Brady in the NFL?
Oh, it's his final season with the Bucs. He's not retiring. He just picked football over Giselle. That's what happened there. She was like, "Yo, it's either me or football," and he said, "Yeah, I'm going back. I'm gonna try and win 6 more Super Bowls. I think he could go to San Fran."
Yeah, that's his absolute dream, isn't it? To
play with that team.
Yeah.
With McCaffrey now, Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, good line, good scheme. Then San Fran's whole thing so far has been they've lacked the dude who is clutch. Because Kyle Shanahan ain't it. Jimmy Garoppolo, he isn't it either. So Tom Brady, he's that dude. You put that around him, he's gonna win another Super Bowl. But it's either that or Miami, or he just does another Tampa Bay type thing, and he's just yeah, I'm going to go to the Texans and we're just going to go crap on people. I don't know. It's this guy has completely changed his total personality since he's left New England, it seems like. So anything is game with him. Besides retirement. That's not happening.
Yeah, right. So you say he's definitely leaving the Buccaneers and he will be at another team next season.
Yeah, he's playing until he's 50 as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
I don't see he can throw the ball harder than Mac Jones can still. He's 45. I see no sign in his arm or his athleticism or his ability to play slowing down in my mind. Maybe he's got to refocus his work ethic, because this offseason was definitely strange about that, Maybe that's what's going on. They haven't found their footing yet because he wasn't there, but he could just turn it on, but his team can't. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they haven't gotten into full rhythm yet, and we've seen it before with them. Once they start rolling, they just start rolling. So
yeah, apparently he was late to the game on Sunday against the Panthers. Apparently he missed all the walkthroughs pre-game, and turned up by himself. So there's clear issues there, and obviously when things aren't going Tom's way, he sort of lets it be known now as well in sort of how he reacts. I know obviously he was chewing his offensive line out, which he's done many a time. We've seen it many times at the Patriots. But something, as you said, something seems off, whether he's not getting on with the coaches or not happy with the calls. But yeah, something is completely off there at the minute. So just finish off then with Tyler. Would you like to just have again, while I've got you on, just have a talk about what you do with Stadium Rant? Do you like gazettes? Just have a talk about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the director of personnel with Stadium Rant now. So basically I oversee like all of our personnel dealings, recruitment, internal like staff promotions, all sort of things like that. Currently we're kind of going through a shift in how we do things. We've had 32 NFL team site like sites, so to speak. We're kind of like merging our interior departments to divisions now. So we're gonna hopefully be covering a lot more of our sites that don't have as much content, because some sites have a bunch of writers and some sites like don't. So we're gonna try and even a lot of that out by having our writers who do come in now and our writers that we have now writing for both their site that they want, their team, and like one article a week for their division rivals. This doesn't have to be like a puff piece or anything. You could literally write like, I don't know, if it were me, I could write, oh, why is Tua Tagovailoa overrated, or why is Zach Wilson blah blah blah, you know, say something like, not, I don't think Zach Wilson's that good. Like, I could write an article about that. It doesn't have to be a nice like, oh, the Jets are doing so well type of piece where you like dive into deep depths about all the Jet stats, like, you know. So it's kind of an interesting shift, but I feel like it's going to help a lot of the things that we're doing here. But yeah, we're still just a whole bunch of fans trying to cover our teams and cover sports and have fun while we're doing it. So.
And I've seen that Stadium Rant have just recently set up a YouTube channel as well. Are you going to be part of that moving forward as well?
Yeah, I'm looking into the show that I'm trying to start now. I believe it's going to be like gambling kind of involved. Still not sure, working on that, but definitely go like and subscribe to that page. Thank you for plugging that, because that's cool. I forgot. Since you said that, I forgot about another one too. Our podcast network, it's the NFL on Stadium Rant on Spotify, and it's on Apple Music now. And yeah, we have a lot of good people doing a lot of great work for a lot of different teams now. So I think we have 13 or 14 different podcasts going on. So yeah, we got our hands in pretty much everything. It's a fun time.
That's excellent. So yeah, so if anybody isn't already, make sure that you do follow Tyler at Tyler Lamb, at Lamb4752, and at Stadium Rant HQ as well. So that many podcasts going on, a brand new YouTube channel. So make sure you go across and like and subscribe that one as well. So there was an episode on a couple of days ago, I believe, Necessary Roughness. So I watched part of that. So it's a great show. A lot of different contributors as well. So make sure you do go and subscribe to that. And in terms of obviously here with us, please make sure spike that subscribe button like Gronkowski and hit that like button like Henry. Thank you, because we've produced daily content, videos, shorts as well. And we've just recently, last week, we did a live play-by-play show of the 49ers against the Chiefs. So this weekend, we're going to do the Patriots. Okay, so we're going to do a live play-by-play of the Jets and Patriots game. So this is for any NFL fans, Jets mainly and Patriots, but any NFL fans are welcome. So we're going live from 4:30 British Summer Time, which is 12:30 Eastern Time, having a chat, obviously joining the discussion, watching the game, hopefully watching the Patriots come back and dominate in that game, but we'll see how that goes. So please come and join us for that game as well. I don't know if you're available, Tyler. What do you do on a Sunday? Do you go and do you watch the game when it's away? Do you go and watch it somewhere, or?
Yeah, I actually watch it here with my setup here. I got a couple TVs going on over there. So I typically have Red Zone going on one screen, and I have the Pats going on cable on another. And then I pull up another game on my laptop, and I stream it on the other TV when it's not on Fox or CBS. So yeah,
well,
I'm living in my little man cave.
No, yeah, that's where I am as well. So if you are available, Tyler, more than welcome to come and get involved with us on Sunday. That'd be absolutely fantastic. To either get you up a little bit on the screen before game, halftime, after game, and also get you involved in the chat and things. That'd be absolutely fantastic. We love that.
Yeah, I can do that. I can definitely see if some of the people from the Gazette would like to do that as well. We'll get some more people in there.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much. And for my co-host Andy as well, has also said thank you, Tyler. You definitely know your stuff, which you do.
Thanks, man.
It's great to have a chat with somebody that is a huge Patriots fan and as you said, absolutely knows his stuff. So thank you so much. Right. And so we'll leave you with that. And thank you very much. Thank you so much again, Tyler. Make sure you do go and follow Tyler on Twitter and follow Stadium Rant on YouTube. And we will see you next time.